crazed collector Kevin Hernandez is live at the Toy Anime Comic-Con with more. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Okay, so I want to walk you over here because I have a very, very special guest. Now, this guy here may not look recognizable in person, but take a look at that cardboard cutout right there.
Oh.
Who is that?
That is me.
That is you right there, Mr. C. Andrew Nelson, Darth Vader himself. So it's very nice to meet you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so we got to talk about which versions of Darth Vader you are, because you've played Darth Vader in just about every franchise of Star Wars, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I spent 12 years playing Darth Vader for Lucasfilm, on film, for television, for commercials, print ads, magazine covers, toy packaging. I'm even on a postage stamp as Darth Vader. I thought you had to be dead to be on a postage stamp, but apparently not. But yeah, I'm in the special edition of the original movies when George added additional scenes to the original films to bring it up to how they always wanted it to be. They put me in there for that. I'm in the video games like Rebel Assault 2 and Dark Forces. I'm in just a ton of stuff as Darth Vader. But I'm also a visual effects artist and animator. So I spent 6 years at LucasArts, the game company, designing and creating games there. And then I transferred over to Industrial Light and Magic, worked on the effects for the Star Wars prequels and films like Galaxy Quest and Jurassic Park 3 and Perfect Storm and a whole bunch more.
That is absolutely incredible. And I'm in such awe of your career and looking at these photos here. I mean, you've got photos with the original cast here. You've got photos with Hayden Christensen there. So again, we were talking about putting on the actual costume. Tell us a little bit about that, because you said it's a lot of pieces, right?
It is. It's because people ask all the time, well, how heavy is that costume? You know, honestly, I don't know, because it's 17 pieces if you include the lightsaber hanging off the belt. So you put it on very, very slowly because you want to make sure everything looks right and it's all in the right place. So it takes about 45 minutes to get into the costume. It takes about 5 minutes to get out of the costume at the end of the day, because at that point, you know, just get me out of here. It's hot. It's uncomfortable. I can pull it inside out if you have to. So, yeah.
And so you don't actually do the voice of Vader, though, right?
No. The voice is James Earl Jones. Always has been, always will be.
I just thought maybe you were going to throw us another loophole and say, hey, I can also do the voice. That's okay.
But I am the voice of Luke Skywalker for several LucasArts games.
Are you really?
Which voice actor?
So which one?
Games like Super Empire Strikes Back for the Super NES, and also X-Wing Collector's CD that LucasArts produced. So a bunch of games like that. And so, so I am my own father or my own son. It's complicated.
That is absolutely incredible. Now, you're going to be here today in Woodland. Now, what times are you going to be at your booth until?
I'm going to be here until they kick me out.
I love it.
So the show runs today from 11 to 4, and I will be here that whole time.
Now, let me ask, because when people see you, and obviously looking at you in person, they're not going to say you're Darth Vader, but as soon as they see photos like this, or they see cardboard cutouts, I mean, do people just want to ask you questions about Star Wars?
Absolutely, tons of that stuff. Most of it is it hot inside that costume? Yes, it is. It's blistering hot.
Really? Well, I mean, it's such an iconic character and such an iconic role, so I mean, you really are a part of this Star Wars history. I mean, that spans over 40 decades.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm great.
4 decades, rather. 40 years, 4 decades.
Yeah, don't date me that much.
Right.
But no, it is, and I'm incredibly blessed to be able to do that. You know, I tell people I'm an ordinary guy who gets to do extraordinary things, and I don't take it for granted.
Absolutely. So. Now, do you have a favorite? Okay, so of the prequels and then the original films, do you have a favorite cast member, or do you have a really funny story you could tell us about somebody?
My favorite cast member probably was Peter Mayhew, who played Chewbacca, who passed away last year, who was a very dear friend of mine, and he and his wife Angie, just wonderful people. But I love everybody. I mean, it was an incredible privilege to be able to work with all of them over the years. So. You know, it's hard to single it out. That's like asking which one of my children is my favorite. You know, it's like, so I don't have a favorite. If you're watching, kids, I don't have a favorite.
Now, really quickly before we send it on back to studio, I want to ask: do you have any really cool Carrie Fisher stories? Because you mentioned Peter Mayhew, Carrie Fisher, dearly departed Carrie Fisher. I mean,
Carrie just had a great sense of humor, just a really kind of wicked sense of humor, and a good sense of humor about herself too. I mean, I remember her saying that when the whole deal with Disney went down, that she says, "Okay, does that make me a Disney princess? Do I get a trainer to help me get into shape because for the new films?" She had that kind of wonderful sense of humor, so we miss her a lot too.
Well, again, I could stay here and talk to you all day. I might, because the show's almost over. Don't leave home till 11. But again, I might stay here and talk to you for the rest of the day. But again, come out here, Woodland, Ohana Comic-Con. Come on out. There's other special guests attending. They're getting set up right now. Show officially opens at 11. So come on out, and again, meet Mr. C. Andrew Nelson.
If you do, the Force will be strong with you.
Absolutely.
But if you don't, remember what I did to my admirals. Careful.
This is awesome.